Alright everybody, so I'm here with my new friend Nadia, who is originally from Iran, and we're here to talk about what's going on in Iran. And the latest protests stem from, her name was, what was her?
Masha Amini.
Yeah. Masha Amini, who was detained by the morality police.
Correct.
And you know, whatever happened, I'm not sure, but they basically killed her, and then that's what started the protests. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
So the protest started in Iran pretty much after this has happened to this girl, Mahsa Amini. And then what happened, she's part of the Kurdish side of the Iranian. So in Iran we have a different portion of Iran, like we have Kurdish, that they're Iranian, we have Turkish, we have different races, if you call it. It's not, I'm not sure if you call it race, but she was from the Kurdish part, and right now all the guys and girls, they're standing up for her right, and a lot of people, they got killed, unfortunately, because of that. And I keep saying the one benefit that it did have, at least the whole world, now they know that the government of Iran is very different from the people in Iran. And that was something that I always mentioned to other people here in US, and they were very surprised when I said that, which it is true. I would say 90% of people, they're not with the government or anything like that. They don't agree with the government. It's just they didn't have the gut to stand up for their rights, because as soon as you stand up for your rights, pretty much they end up killing you or put you in prison and jail and all of that. So it's really hard to stand up. Right now people, they're just, I feel like it was too much for people. It passed their capacity, and then right now they're just standing up for their rights, for their brothers and sisters' rights. And the good news is men in Iran, they're supporting the women, and this is, I think this is great, because it used to be everybody thinking that Iran, like men have all the power and everything. Although the government and all the policies and rules in Iran, it is that way. But the good news is right now, all the men, my brothers in Iran, they're supporting my sisters in Iran. So this is amazing. And we're trying to support here, but it's not easy, because we're just hearing everything, we're seeing everything that is happening in Iran through like Instagram stories here and there, but it's just so heartbreaking. My heart is broken right now, and there's not much that I can do. I can be their voice, and I can just here and there give speeches or be part of the protest, like give information in my Instagram, in my Facebook, just be their voice. But it's really hard to be here and not be able to do a lot of things, and pretty much they do all the work back in Iran. They got killed. I hope all of this blood, it doesn't go to waste, and something change and the freedom happens, and we'll see peace in Iran.
Yeah.
That's really my hope.
Yeah, it's hopefully the protests keep building. Unfortunately, a lot of protesters, like you say, have been killed. But yeah, hopefully. I mean, I saw another lady. She's a rock climber. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes.
And she's now possibly in trouble because she didn't wear her hair covering while in a competition in South Korea. And so, I mean, that's seems kind of crazy that she could be in trouble because, you know, I mean, she's rock climbing, but you know, I was pretty amazed at think it's every week at the state capitol on Saturdays, and there's a lot of people that originally are from Iran, and but a lot of locals as well. We'll meet at the Capitol. I think it's Saturdays and mid-afternoon, and to help build awareness, because it shows when the government is trying. They shut down the internet in Iran.
Yes.
And they do that because they know the voice of the people is so powerful. And it's kind of like what they're doing in Russia. They try and shut down the voice of the people because if it gets out of hand, they can't contain it. So, but I read a survey that at least 70% of women would prefer to be more free in how they are in Iran. Do you think that's about right? Or?
I would think so.
Yeah.
If it's not more, I would think 70% is a correct number. And there's nothing wrong with people if they want to wear hijab. I think it has to be the choice, and it has to be some type of a freedom, and it has to be, if I decided that I wanted to cover, I can cover, or if I decided that I don't want to cover, I should be able to live my life the way I want it.
Right.
And I feel like this is just the basic rights that I don't think any other country would understand that, because they just have it naturally. Like when you come out of Iran and you go to countries like US, or you go to any European countries, this is just very basic. Like everybody can decide what they wanted to wear, and Iran is one of those countries that you'll be in trouble through the morality police. And I had that situation before myself when I was living in Iran. They'll come to you and they'll ask you to cover, and if you don't cover, they'll take you with them. And then, so I wasn't brave enough, or I would just wanted to, obey and then just listen to them, because I didn't want my family to be embarrassed because of me not covering. And so pretty much I would just cover when they're there, and then just, the way that they want it, and then after that I would change it up. But it's always been that way. I remember when I was living in Iran, the pressure, it was always there that someone gonna come up to you when you're walking in the street and they're gonna tell you something. So you always feel guilty when you're in Iran. At least I felt that way, and I feel like a lot of women, even the men, they felt the same way. And I remember when I moved to Turkey and I was living there, so for a couple months I was waiting for someone to come up to me and ask me to do something, or tell me like, you're not dressing properly, or you need to cover. I was keep like waiting for that person to come, and that feeling guilty, it's always stayed with me, and I feel like it stayed with a lot of people back in Iran, that we always feel like we did something wrong. We always feel that way, which is not true. Like I don't think anybody living here in US ever feel like they're always guilty or they did something wrong and they're in trouble. But I always have that in the back of my mind, which is a problem.
Yeah, it's been ingrained in you since you were born. And so you can't shake that off.
It's really hard. I'm working on it, but it's really hard. And that's not good for me, because I don't know how to defend myself, because I always felt like, okay, I'm not doing the right thing, because what's going on in the streets of Iran, and then that culture that I grew up with. So yeah, definitely it's not easy. There are some stuff that other people, they never deal with it. And you never understand that if you're born and raised here in US, you have a lot of privileges, and you have a lot of things to be grateful for. So yeah,
it can be, if you're born here, you can take it for granted. You don't,
that is true.
You don't realize the freedoms you have until you lose them.
Exactly. Yes, and then for a while when I moved here, I was hoping I was just wishing, hoping that I wish I came here earlier, or I born and raised here, so it would be, my life would be so much easier. So it took me a while to get to the place that I'd be happy with who I am. Now I'm happy with who I am, and I'm very happy that I came from another culture. So because I know this culture, and I know my own culture, and I know my language, and I know like English. So these are all a privilege, and I'm grateful for it right now. But it used to be not like that.
Right.
I wasn't too happy that I had to grow up like that. So
wow.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably you think a lot of people that you know or heard about, they feel pretty hopeful about these protests, that like this time it's different. Maybe they'll, because I was reading a chronology of protests. There's protests like every other year, but it seems like this one's different. Yeah, this one can accomplish it. And people there, when the internet shut down, I've read that they can use what they call VPN networks, virtual private networks, and so they can get videos out and stuff.
It's not easy though.
No.
Yeah, I try to connect with some of my friends that I actually don't know them as much, but before all of this happened, we start to get to know each other, and they were back in Iran. Right now, I'm not even able to see them on Instagram anymore. I'm not even able to connect with them as much, because even the WhatsApp is really hard to connect. So it's not easy to connect with them. And one thing it is, the internet is off and on, so most of the time they're out of internet, so they don't even have anything to get connected with. And for a while I didn't know how my friends are doing, and I have two aunties that are still living back in Iran, so we didn't hear from them as often either. So it's not easy. So even with the VPN and everything, it's not easy to load anything or talk with the loved ones. The only way that you might be able to connect with them is through the actual phone call.
Okay.
So that's the only way you can connect with them. But even though that, we're not going to ask them a lot of questions, because who knows if they're listening on their phones, and we don't want them to be in trouble. So yeah.
Well.
Yeah, it is not easy for sure. But it is what it is for now. But I feel like, to answer your question, yes, I feel like the protest, it might happen every year at some point, but this is bigger than what happened before. And I feel like this is at the part that it could be a revolution.
Right.
And it's just, at least I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
I really hope so. I don't want all of this blood to go to waste.
Right.
And then my brother and sisters that they're dying in Iran, I just don't think this is gonna go to waste. I feel like, and we're doing our best over here to be their voice, and then hopefully we can get somewhere.
Right.
And this is something that people of Iran, they're doing it themselves. There's nobody helping them. And it's not easy, because it's not like United States that they would have gun at their houses. It's not like that. So they're just empty-handed, and they're just trying to do whatever they can do with nothing, pretty much. So they go out, they might get killed, and they never come back home. So it's not easy for their parents. There are a lot of parents that they see that they have videos out there. It's not easy, but
no, they're very brave.
Yeah, they are very brave. Sometimes they get to some point that you're like, I mean, it's hard already, so might as well, if I die, that's okay, at least we get somewhere with this. So I'm really hoping for peace.
Yeah, hopefully.
And the whole world, obviously.
Yeah, hopefully all kinds of situations around the world are resolved, but yeah, gotta hope that they can keep the momentum going on this, and because it's kind of like now or never.
Yeah. But it's not only that, because what it is, they got killed. It's my brother and sister's blood, obviously, and then a lot of families, their loved ones, they got killed. So it's
Yeah.
not easy. But not only that, a lot of businesses right now, they can't even do. But yeah, they cannot do business. So right now, it's really hard to make money for them. And how would you even have like basic food to eat? Those are the other
Right.
other problems that they also have right now. So the situation is tough. It's really tough. So um, I really don't know what else we can do, like as an Iranian being in this side of the world, like what else I can do. I know this weekend actually it's a huge protest in Washington DC that they called all the Iranians from the whole United States and Canada to go there. So it's going to be a bunch of Iranian in Washington DC, and it's going to be a huge protest in Washington DC. So that one is going to be huge. There was another one in California just recently, and they actually got to talk with Biden
Oh, okay.
really quickly. But I'm not sure what's going on with that. So as I can tell right now, I don't see a lot of support from anybody, from any country, or from United Nations. I don't see any support. But anyhow, people are doing it, so I'm very proud of them. I'm very proud of them.
Yeah.
They are very brave, and it's just they got to the point that they cannot do this anymore. They have no choices. They either want to get killed or they're gonna resolve this. And this is pretty awesome. Like that's braveness to the end of it, I would think. I don't think I can imagine doing what they're doing. Like what they're doing is huge.
Yeah.
I remember when I was back in Iran, if the morality police, they came to me and they're like, cover your head, I would immediately do it so I won't cause any problem. But for them just being so brave to go above and beyond, this is huge.
Yeah.
Like I don't think anybody can imagine. They have a bigger goal to achieve, and that's why they're doing it. And right now, I feel like people in Iran, they're so open-minded to do this. And right now, it doesn't matter if you're from South or North or West or East. They're just all united, and they're trying to achieve the goal of like bringing peace and bringing togetherness to Iran. And they're just so tired of being told what to do. So it's amazing. What they're doing, it's amazing. And I feel like it's a huge deal. And then a lot of like graphics designer that I watch, that they're doing a lot of graphic works, they're actually showing that the hands is coming from all sides of the Iran, and they're grabbing each other's hand.
Wow.
So that they're getting united all together. This is a huge deal.
So do you think they're not, I mean, their ultimate goal is to get the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, their goal is to get him to,
Go away.
Yeah.
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 That's
they're not going to get,
definitely
they're
a
not,
goal.
basically, you think they're not going to give up until he's gone?
I hope so.
Yeah.
So what I hear in the news and everything, all their kids, they're out of Iran. So they live in countries like US, Canada, or they live in Europe.
Oh, the kids of
The kids of all the
leaders.
the leaders, they're outside the country. They don't live like we live. They have lots of money, so they live the best life, and they have their money out of the country already, or they're working on it. So that's what I hear from the news. So pretty much I think they should leave at some point, but they're not like Shah.
Right.
Shah left pretty easy.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna leave that easy.
Yeah.
And they're not avoiding anything. Like they do kill people, and then as much as they could to just be in the power. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, people hoping for this, and they're working towards it. But the other question was, okay, after they're gone, who's gonna be in power?
Yeah.
So we talked about that with a lot of Iranians, and with a lot of, like, just between my friends, family, everybody, we talked about it. So first of all, there's an example that I like that. I saw it on Instagram the other day. So they're saying if someone has a tumor, they're not thinking of, ooh, if I take the tumor out, what should I substitute the tumor with? You're just thinking about taking the tumor out because you know it's not a good thing for your body. So it's the same thing right now. We're not really thinking about who's going to be in power after that. We're really thinking we're going to take this out for now because this is damaging the whole Iran. And then later they're going to think about what they're going to do. But the idea is, it doesn't matter which religion, which belief like you have. It doesn't matter of that. It doesn't matter if you're Kurd, Turk, or Arab, or whatever you are, or Persian, or whatever you are. It doesn't matter. We're all gonna get united, and it's gonna be a representative from each part, and they're gonna come together, and they're gonna come up with something.
Okay.
So that's the idea.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit with my friends, family, and everybody that we talk. But that's an idea. We will see. There are so many people that they want to go and have Iran at some point.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But we're going to take the tumor out.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah, and then the replacement has to be better.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely.
Well, good.
Well, it's going to take time to recover.
Yeah, it's going to be a long.
Not like
it's going to be a long process, so it'll be a huge change.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a huge change, but it's much needed also.
Yeah.
It's something that it need to be happen. So it's going. It's about 40 years.
Wow.
People are thinking about it. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. It's been since 79 or 80. Yeah. Wow.
It's been a while.
So, yeah, well.
Yeah, so, but you know, people like you, I really appreciate you. Like, you not only came in to protest and learn about what's going on, you're actually educating yourself about Iran.
Right.
I saw you're watching the documentary. So this is amazing. Like, people like you that's supporting it, you understand that the support is very important. And that was part of my speech on that day.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to tell the story because I want to tell the story. I want to tell the story to get to the point. I want to tell that story. Okay, there was a group of people in Iran that they were the government didn't like them or whatever, and they were doing a lot of injustice to them. So if other people in Iran, they came and provide support and they stopped that right there, then we wouldn't have this bigger like mess.
Right.
We wouldn't have a lot of people die. And then if we stop the injustice right there. So now, if the injustice stop right here in Iran, with everybody's help, with my American brothers and sisters' help, European brothers and sisters' help, then if we stop it right there, great. The tumor is gonna get healed. It's gonna stop. It's not gonna spread the world.
Right.
But if we don't stop it right here, with each other's help, this tumor is going to get bigger and bigger, and it's going to spread the world.
Yeah, sure.
So that's why we need everybody to know what's going on and to be our voice, because we need each other's help.
Right.
And then I had the poem, I don't know if you remember, there was a poem that whatever it happens in human body, like, okay, if my teeth hurt, it's going to hurt me all over. It's the same thing in the real world. Like, if one place they're in not a good situation, eventually it's gonna affect the whole world. It's gonna spread into the whole world.
Right.
We would think, okay, something happened in China. Remember when COVID hit?
Yeah.
When COVID hit in China, we were here in United States. We didn't care.
Right.
We're like, okay, it's in China. It's not gonna bother us. But imagine, several months later, we had it here in US. We had to deal with the same problem. What if we could have stopped it in China? It wouldn't spread the world, and we could all be safe, and we could all live our life even better. So I feel like anything happens in, like if something happens in United States and the whole world doesn't come and help to fix it, this is gonna spread out. So yeah, that's my idea. But thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate your interest in this topic.
Sure.
And people like you, they know how important it is. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you sharing all your insight with everybody because
Yes,
in
of
your
course.
background. So
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be
All right.
there this weekend too.
All right,
So
Saturday.
Saturday
Okay.
from 3 to 5.
Okay, at
Yes.
this Colorado State Capitol.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, thank you,
I
Nadia.
appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.